Well, happy February. It's VindaCator here from iPlayMore.com. Quick reminder, go to YouTube, subscribe to us there, and follow me on Twitch. Make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for a video game test of Thunder. So I'm the game designer, developer, and producer for the game Thunder. Takes place right here. This is the Milky Way galaxy. You might know of this place or heard of it before. And if you're an Earthling, you'll live here where the sun is. Down the Carina Arm, we've got the Stellar Jewel Box Nebula, NGC 3603. NASA took a photograph. This is what it looks like. And we've put our little planet there, Planet Nebulous Prime. And as we zoom in on the planet, see the mock-up of the islands that we're going to create. And then we've got a metagame that takes place over top. And basically that means winning and losing counts for territory. And you can see in the middle here we got Bear Isle, which is 12 over 12. It's neutral. So whoever wins the next round will take it. And then we had a professional map maker make this one. That was kind of after our first prototype and in the middle before we started this one. And so we developed it, and then I realized how big that was. And you can see we've got the kin here and the brood way over here. And it was just too massive. Even with the reduction, we've reduced this by 75%. It's still very large. So what we ended up doing is having the kin here and the brood here. So what do you do with all the rest of this? Well, it's become a training grounds for how to play the game. So that's all some very cool stuff that's happening there. These are our scepters. So we've been doing some high resolution renders to put these things out. And so we can show them on the HUD and show them in images and things like that. So that's our scepters. We got the common, which is a lightning scepter, the lightning scepter, the fire scepter, the ice scepter, and the storm scepter. And show all that stuff off today. Then we've got our icons. So the kin lightning, the brood lightning, the kin fire, the brood fire. And then we've got the storms and ice. So I'll show you all those attacks today. This is a top-down view of the brood fortress, and then from the front. And we do have time of day in now, so it's going to look a little different than this. It's always changing. Every time I do some screenshots, they're old. So there's the energy icon, so you can actually watch me destroy that today. It's not 100%, but it's roughed in, so it's going to be kind of cool. And then we're going to have the top-down of the kin castle from the front. Still don't have our grass in. And there's the throne and the energy icon behind. These are our energy pods. So this is what runs your devices. So you got the black, the white, the red, the blue, and the rare. And then we've got our devices. So this is the claw. This is your base device. And you can use it to fly. You can use it to push people off the thrones. Quite useful. And then we have our white energy and dark energy devices. So that's the rapid impact and the agony. The agony is like if you're into sniper rifles, but it's not a rifle, it's a device. It's kind of like that. And then we've got the red, so we've got the Wolverine and the Stingray. Drew a blank there for a second. H2O, which is a water device, and the Hog, which is a lightning device, but both blue. And then the rare devices, the Oculus and the P-Res. Then our shields, so this one's black on this side, white on the other side, so it does both. Then we've got the red and the blue and the rare, which is your core shield. Then we've got some power-ups. This one is freedom to fly, notch up, so this adds to your shields and your energy. Notability, which is 5 times damage. Not with. Now I'm thinking now, so this is the first time I've ever said this. Listen closely. Thinking now that not with will be the one thing that'll get you through a force field. Because we got, well, they're not working today. We've got force fields, and then we're locking shrines in those force fields, and I'm thinking, man, that's like impossible. I mean, you could capture the throne, but that's going to be difficult. So this is a way you could sneak in. It's an idea. I think it's going to work and balance the game. And then we've got Return, which is good for a couple things. One, to get out of the pit. So if you get to one of the dead ends, it's going to have return in it. That'll get you out. Not functioning 100%. Well, it is functioning, but it's kind of doing some glitchy stuff, so not using that much. But it's also going to be good for when you're in trouble, you're at the front, and you're getting weak, and you can use return to get out of there. And then we have pep, which will speed up your game, and you can get up to 30 of these and be 3 times faster, and they just kind of fade on and fade off. It's a very nice way to use that sort of a power-up. So, Henrique, boy, I got a lot of messages for you on your Slack channel there. So, anyways, so this is the Brood HUD. This is, you'll never see this. I mean, you'll see all these things, but never all at once. This is just where we're going to place everything. And it's helping already, so it's a good thing. We've got the kin version of it. And then my idea was to look at your character front on instead of from the back. So it's a first-person shooter, but with this kind of a look at the front there. So anyways. And so yeah, we got the chat window, we got the device selection, things like that. And the quick overview of how your team is doing and who's strong and stuff. Now, if you look over here, you can see that we've got a kingdom, and if you you've got the game timer here. It's not going to say game time; it's actually going to be the time of the game. And then if you click H, you're going to see this. And if you click on number 1, of course, it's got all these tabs. That's 18 tabs. That might be too much, but I just wanted to put that into design. How can we do this on this kind of mobile thing? So if you click on that, it's going to go full screen there. And if you click on it again, well, so that's what the mobile looks like. And then this is what the Unreal version looks like. So bring the market right up front. So this is our marketplace. And this is where you're going to be able to buy, sell, trade all of your gear, rent, all that kind of stuff. All can take place inside of our game and our marketplace. And you get your storage and blah, blah, blah. So those are all just mock-ups. All right. So we discovered that so we've got this wonderful gameplay stuff happening now. It's called SCAD, Stronghold, Kingdom, Empire, Dynasty. And it's all functioning. And then we made the locks, and then we realized that just think about this. For Dominations, which is the final stage of the game, that we needed to have 10 if we wanted to have one in every shrine. So not only did we make a couple extra shrines, we had to make an extra letter. So it's kind of cool because this is one of my favorite Brood letters. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So we went all the way to J. Now, there's an interesting thing here I'm finding when I'm unlocking this, that if you pay attention to how many dots there are and how many spaces there are, so you see this one's got 3 dots and 1 space, but so does this one. So yeah, that would be a little confusing. Anyways, but if you do that, you can kind of figure out whether you're in the right place or not. So, but the Brood letters are very difficult. The kin, however, are so freaking unique. I mean, sometimes you get mixed up between these two or these two, but they're all very unique. So it's very easy to tell where they are. So that kind of gives Brood a bit of an advantage. I think we'll have to see. We got to do some testing, but you'll see me testing this stuff today. So this is a mock-up of what it looks like. Of course, the mistake I made here was showing red on red and blue on blue. That isn't the gameplay. That's just for aesthetic values. So when you look at this, you go, oh, that's how it should look. Yeah, but okay, you'll see. Now I did this up this week. I kind of felt that our start page, I had a really raw, ugly mock-up for this. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to take Henrique's work on the HUD for the chat box and use that as where you enter your information. And I just changed this. And so basically I'm looking at it this way. So you put your email here, your player name. Check value means that you can actually purchase that name so that you're exclusive. So think about this. If you're Pro League, you don't want somebody else with the same name as you. So my name is VindaCator. And so I could go and purchase that name. And of course, VindaCator probably wouldn't have a very high value. If it was something common, like King, I don't know, it would probably have a high value. And your password, the ability to change that password, update your email, which is great. So then our team character select. So if you click here, you're going to be able to pick what team you want to be on and then what character you want. And these are the characters that you've played. I just thought this was a really great way to instantly revisit the character that you want. And then our gear photo op, which is also the rental system. So you can go there, you know, look at gear on your character. And boy, I've got some things to talk about with that. And then our map, go play. And in the beginning here, you can see we've got Fog of War. There's only going to be a couple arenas to start, but we'll open up all of that over time. So that was fun to get that done. It looks great. It looks much better than what we had before. And then this is what I did up last week, which is the screen select for the game, for what team you want to be on. Now let's get into Zach here. So these are the newest shots. What you're looking at here right now is the newest skin shots for Zach. You'll see some of the old ones in a little bit, but I put the newest ones first. And so this is what it's what Zoran's calling SSS skin material. Now the interesting thing is I had no character customization in our plans because, you know, let's face it, it costs a lot of time and money and effort to put in character customization. But that's exactly what Zoran has here, is morph targets, so everybody can customize their character. So that's kind of a shock to me, but I just found that out today. Anyway, so he's got the skin happening, the face happening, and I mean, when you really think about it, that's how people's faces are, with the purples and the reds and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got. So that's this week, and then this is last week. So he's made the skin much more translucent, much more realistic. It still looks good though. This is last week. So it's looking at the belt, the boots. That is his bracelets and his gauntlet, the bottom underneath, the top, and then his shoulder. You can see the hair is not done here. It's placeholder. Back. That's looking really good. That's the older face. So we can morph the face however we want now, which is absolutely amazing. So the crown, but no hair. And that's last week as well, which still looks really good to me. Fantastic job on that. And this is the pit top-down image. I want to keep reminding myself that when we make pits in the future that we're going to make them look like creatures. I think that's kind of a cool idea. And I'll be running to these sides here to unlock the stronghold, kingdoms, empires, and dynasties, or SKED for short, as we call it. Now, our mana, you can be active in our Discord and earn mana, which is a real currency in our game, and that's the address. So ZVJGQFE. So make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for a video game test. So let's turn on my camera, wave hello. I forgot to do that last week. Oh, that's funny. And again, here we are, last freaking minute. We are getting everything going for the game and testing stuff. And there is no force fields in today. They seems to be. We had a whole bunch of stuff go missing. We had all the shrines go missing. We had all of the rocks that lock everything inside the pit or hide everything inside the pit go missing. And now it looks like the force fields are gone. So I hope that's the end of the problem. We've also removed all of the spline paths. They were causing all kinds of grief. In fact, they have made the whole map sharp and jagged again after I had spent about a month of solid time. Oh, I wish I would have done something else with that time. But anyways, we're back. So I'm hoping that we can fix it with code. So we're just waiting for Zoran to get his hard drive so that he can load this up and then figure out how to do that. So there we go. Oh, I also have the ability to paint brewed dead grass. So all that'll be done over here, but I haven't had a chance to get to that. I do have all of the rivers and the lava all have so when you jump in it gets darker, and then they also have the physics, so it's acting like water. And then the other thing I started doing too is the placements of the places where you cannot place thrones, which is the pit. And of course I want to do that in the river and the mountains, inside the mountains. there's a little bit of a glitch sometimes when you're placing that you'll end up inside of a mountain. So I'm trying to block all that. It's going to take a while, but that's started. So, all right, so let's push Alt P. So today we're going to be playing both teams, and I'm going to be showing a little bit of some of the gameplay. It's going to be kind of back and forth, so it won't be 100% yet. We have been doing some tests with characters. Oh, and there's the other thing too is it seems I often click on Kin and then push play, which puts an error into the game. So, anyways, I've talked to Michael about that. So that spawn's got to be turned still. So let's start with our little tree houses. Now this is just a mock-up for today. We still have the old tree in. What blows me away though is that Henrique just put this on the bottom. I think he wants to make it clear to us that it's under construction and that this is caution, work in progress. So I think he's kind of made that a little bit evident with all these signs he has everywhere. It's awesome. This was actually a surprise. So I've filled it up. This is going to be a supply room. It's kind of cool though. You can see the roots of the tree in here. So just to kind of talk about this a little bit. Oh, see that thing's happening where I picked it up, now it's higher? Isn't that weird? Anyways, that's for a programmer to figure out, I guess. So basically what's happened here is these level up trees used to be up front and it convoluted the gameplay. You used to have to go to your tree first before the fountain. And I thought, man, how can I simplify this? And then I saw Avatar and they had these massive trees and I thought, oh, let's put a massive tree behind the castle. Then it's not going to, you know, cover it up and make it so that you can't see the castle. So that's what we did. And then we used to have supply rooms behind. I thought, man, how do we get the supply rooms? I thought, well, we'll put the supply room and the tree together. And if you remember in Avatar, you could actually go inside the trees. So that's what kind of motivated that. So this is going to be our inventory system. We've got one of our programmers, Vladimir, working on that. There is our new tree shrine. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this guy on the throne. And we also got the objectives in for both teams now. And for some reason it wasn't working. We had to go back and, oh man. Okay, I'm calm for my stream, but man. And Michael's like, oh, we're gonna fix the force fields. I'm like, no, we're not. Okay, so I push Alt Tab, sorry. And we're gonna join Brood. Been playing Saflatus. So now watch what happens here when he captures the throne. We didn't have this before. So we've got a Brood one as well. And I've supplied it. We're not gonna visit that. You're just gonna believe me that it's supplied. And we're gonna get her on her throne. Okay, why do we have no capture message? Oh, whoops. Oh, he's captured. There was no notification, which is really weird. It's been working. Oh. Oh no, that's the enemy.
Prince of Thunder.
Okay, so you see our new collection throne meter is working good. It says I got 13 throne strikes. Every time I run, I think Henrique wants me to walk. And I'm like, but it's a fast game. It's a race. And if you're really good, you can. Oh. Okay, that was pretty good. So some really strange thing. It doesn't look like those messages are global anymore. I hope they are. But I've been able to catch those. Okay, so I'm going to just... I'm going to push my Windows key. I want to make this full screen. There we go. Okay, so you can see now that she has to go find these symbols. So let's go do that. This is kind of a silly way to play because, you know, somebody's in limbo. Okay, so you can see there's a letter here on the shrine, but it's not the right one, so there's no match. So what I'm trying to do, so just so you understand, so Ken has created a stronghold. And what that means is that my team, I'm Brood here, my team can no longer go and level up. There's another one. So I've been lucky to find 2 of those right away, but they're not right. So my team can't level up the energy. So we were at a disadvantage with this stronghold. So what we want to do is unlock the stronghold. Oh, you're right. My head is over the find. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera. Thanks for letting me know. I had no idea. I guess we don't need my camera. We've been doing so good until then. It's going to be over the chat, too. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. There's no lock there. Now, understand that I'm just one guy running around looking for this stuff. If you have an organized team, you can unlock these pretty quickly. Of course, by now, Ken would have the next level. So I'm lucking out here. Or not lucking out. I'm having no luck, is what I'm trying to say. Oh boy, okay. So there's 2 more places. So those are all the main shrines. And as a rule, I say always go check the enemies' shrines first. But they are equal. And as you can see, there's 2 on my shrines. So nothing here. All right, well, let's speed things up here. So these devices have recoil, so I can move extremely fast. Just gonna go back up to the rear here. Now there's supposed to be a force field here, and I'm supposed to be not able to enter it. But I can look into it and see if it's locked in there, but it's not. Then I think the way to deal with that is to allow people when they find, because you won't always find the knot-width. Alright, so let's show one of these secrets. I've never done it like that. I did some audio up for that. Just waiting for Michael to get that in. So that's very cool. So I'll show one of those in each of my stream now. There is a few of those, but we won't talk about that. Alright, so I'm looking for this letter. You can imagine now that the enemy would have already captured my throne. Although, I guess to be fair, if I had a bunch of people there and there was more of them on the throne than the enemy, I would have time to do this. So again, we need to test this. So the rule of thumb here is to go to the enemy's shrine first. So I'm going to go to theirs. So I'm inside the pit. Our game doesn't have death. It has banishment, and so you get banished to a lower level, and here it is. Now I'm here as a visitor, so I'm not banished. I'm just trying to unlock the sked. If I roll my mouse wheel, it says none. So we still have that error happening where it's showing none on the enemy. There it is. So when I go in here, you can see it change. Now I've got to find those. I know where those are though, so. Sure glad Henrique told me that my head was over top of that. Kind of breaks the immersion, eh? Go find this, but you can't see what it is. Now, do you think I can remember which one is where? I know it's both brood shrines, one in the center, one on their right side. So another thing I like to do is come up underneath in the fountain, because you can get a stronghold that way. And I just test to see if it's broken or not. So and my head goes right through. Just ignore that. Okay, no stronghold. Good, good, good. That's another little bug we got fixed. All right, let's try this guy. See how the gravity isn't quite right there? So, yay, I went to the right one. And we already know this one's over here. So if my team had done a very good job of holding that off and we worked together to unlock these things, we could do this fast. So the Kin stronghold is broken. So now we're going to switch sides. We're going to roll the mouse wheel. I see I got 11. And so I'm just going to make it again. So that's correct. So I've just remade my stronghold. So we're going to just cook over the other character right now real quick. And you can see that she has another letter here. So it's been relocked. So that's correct. That's how that works. So I'm just going to go back over. Man, I don't know why I get so confused. There we go. Oh, there's a snake here. So I guess we can't have the word capture twice. This one's just cap. And I wanted to have capture and cap instead of home thrown and enemy thrown because it says goal complete, and I think people might just leave, but you got to capture this. So this is going to take me twice as long because I got to take it from Brood and capture it for King. Now if we go to her, you can see the letters changed on her HUD.
Of dominations.
So the sked has been relocked, and now not only is it locked in 3 places, it's locked in 5 places now. So this gets harder and harder. Whoops. I don't know why I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. There's only 2. That's the moon coming up. Isn't that gorgeous? Man. I could just look at that. Okay, I'll stop. So this is night. Now, time of day is working. Yay! Now you can see that says Empire. So all I've got to do, and I tested this too. So she could go on that throne and try to capture it. But I can get to mine faster, unless I screw up. There's a delay in that announcement. Yeah, so she's hearing it. You see the lock letter changed? So an Empire is locked. I should know this. 7 locations? I'm totally guessing. So I'm going to run around and unlock this. Let's just make sure I got him on the throne. Yeah, he's on the throne capturing. Throne strike, so we need a lot. So we're going to build across the map. Now in the real game, of course, you got 16 versus 16 players. Yay, look at this. I got lucky. I unlocked the first one. There's a lock here. Oh, not the right one though. So like I said, if you got a real organized team, everybody can go to a shrine or be designated. I don't think that's going to happen as often as it should. In the professional playoffs, probably a lot. Probably be very hard to make a locked sked. There's nothing there. Now we've got the Brood objectives working too, but they're not matching the gameplay. So right now she's supposed to go to the fountain, but if she does, nothing's going to happen. So we got a lock there, but it's not right. Not the right letter. Now the cool thing about this, I mean this is way out there. Remember in Skyrim where you would unlock the letters and all that kind of stuff? Oh boy. I've been thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, you could unlock new throne powers, because we only got 4 so far. But that's later. We'll figure that out. No lock there. It's going to go all the way across the other side. It's going to be a lot better when we've got other people playing. So no word from Casey, who was supposed to give me a report on what's happening with multiplayer. I think he's just busy with other projects. No lock there. So I'm into the fountain, or the pit. I need to start thinking before I talk. There's a lot of terms in our game. So Henrique, what do you think about this? So this is night in the pit. How does that look to you? I think it could be a little darker. I think the daytime is a little washed. Okay, my rule here is to go to the enemy first, so that's what we're gonna do. Now I know this pit inside and out. It took me a while. So this is what our game's about. You know, the first time you get banished to the pit, you're gonna be so confused and lost. You did see that picture, though, and that is an accurate picture of what the pit looks like. And that's what I'm running around in right now. The music you're hearing is from our game. We got 46 songs ready to go. Oh my goodness! I got little names for all these symbols, which are not correct, because I can't remember the alphabetical order, because they just are just so different than the human alphabet, which is good. That's what we want. Took the volume of the audio down in the pit now, so it blends in with the music a little bit more, instead of over. And then I'm talking over top. Let's put as much stuff in here as we can. So Henrique says, yes, the pit is a little bright at night. It's got to be here, yeah. Oh, no, now where was this one? Up top, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, it gets harder and harder and harder to unlock this stuff. Which is ideal. It's something that's not going to happen all the time, which I like. And I think even people won't just even do it. You know, it's kind of a creating strongholds and kingdoms and empires. It's kind of a high level thing. You can hear the bats. So we got the bat coming. We got a fox head bat coming. Tyler's working on that, doing a great job. Man, it's awesome to have all this stuff happening. We were supposed to have Zach in today, but that didn't happen. We're close. Yay, I remembered. I can't remember. I think that's over here. Just using my recoil device to move faster. Again, this isn't going to be done by one person. Oh, that's in the pit. So it's back into the pit for me. All right, let's go this way. We haven't seen the dragon. The dragon, actually, I forgot about the dragon. I went in there. So this throne is out now because there's an empire, so that's correct. Oh, let's just go to there one sec. But there's a couple things that aren't correct. So first of all, I'm not going to even talk about that out. It's not balanced and it's stretched. But we're going to change this. We're going to redo. Oh, I guess, Henrique, we could do home thrones too. I didn't realize that. So out just means that I can't capture it anymore. But I should be able to get throne energy. So you can see that that's even frozen. But that's not correct. Because how would this team place thrones? Right? So that kind of breaks the gameplay. So it can't be that way. We'll have that fixed for next week. I think we're doing really good for talking to people through the internet. See, I forgot about him again. Hey, kitty, kitty. He's supposed to be sleeping, but he's awake. I think what we're going to do is make it so that if you shoot him, you'll banish him, and then you got real trouble. If you get banished. If you don't get banished, it's not such a big deal. But if you yourself are banished, yeah, that's a big problem. But I'm going to leave that a surprise. Just go ahead and do it. See what happens to you. None of that stuff's in yet. It's all game design stuff in my head. Alright, so I know where I'm going this time. So, I mean, the chances of the enemy not doing something... I don't even know. Is this the last one? I shouldn't unlock them. Oh! I just got screwed over. So at 8 minutes, a dynasty is announced. You don't have to do anything except hold your empire. And you can see now. Oh. That's the same letter. That must just be a random thing because that's not supposed to be the same. Although I was supposed to find that letter. See, and now there's a dynasty. And I am having to start all over. And a dynasty's locked in 8 shrines. So it's just getting harder and harder. I'm very happy to have this working now. And this is kind of a side thing. This is not the major gameplay. You can see there's no real battling happening. Although there could be. There could be people in the pit. There could be people at the shrines. These shrines... Oh, man. You can see how hard this gets. So I'm actually just buying time and letting the player on the throne get a lot of throne strikes. So I'm just going to get out of the pit. So basically I have to go revisit everything again. Now, of course, there's a whole team on both sides. So we won't know. Although... you gotta understand, all this stuff was functioning in Prince of Thunder. That, for a prototype, was working really well. 5 levels we had. And this gameplay. What we didn't really have is the scepters. I mean, we had one scepter, but it was on the same hand as your device, and you had to switch to it. So... Alright. So there's supposed to be a force field here, but there is none. So, but when... Okay, so, and now this is the king's throne here, because obviously that guy is not moving or doing anything. Let's just jump to him for a second. It's got 170. Yeah, we should be good. Okay, so... now, you don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to sit here and collect this much. Now, just so you know, too, another part of the gameplay is if I collected 170... is she just floating there? She's just floating there. Interesting. That must be the collision is straight. So, anyways. So, I lost my thought. So anyways, yeah, you just look down. It's going to pick up ice attack. And you can see immediately I've got ice. If I push F, it's going to fire ice. And if I wait, you'll see my scepter will come to life. Yeah. And my ice reappears. And so these... And I'm going to talk about this a little bit because it's very cool. So when we did our first game, and games don't do this. Games just take the programmer. Okay, I'm collecting throne strikes. So I'm just going to move away from all this so I can talk. Okay, so we got to fix that too. That's going around and around. It's supposed to just float up from the seat up to the top. Just adds a little bit of distortion, not around and around like that. So that's got to be fixed. Okay, so So what a lot of games do is the programmer goes and limits the game. You know, limits your speed that you can move, limits your ability to go up into the sky, all that kind of stuff. They just limit you, and that's how most games operate. We had the good fortune to have a lead programmer. This is on our very first project a long time ago. He removed the limitations. He said, "There's a whole bunch of limitations on this game." He said, "Let me remove them. You guys play." So we played, and it was a lot more fun, but it was very difficult to hit each other. So he said, "Well, do you want me to just put these limitations back on?" And I said no. I said, "Let me design around it." And that's what this design is. All these, so this is the lightning attack. So it's going to push F. It's going to instantly change. Oh, no, it's not going to change. Now it's going to change. And so there is an animation. That ball at the top is supposed to be spinning. But you can see this. You can see the lightning is in there now, so that's correct. And then I can just push my up arrow and change to my various. So if I change to fire, it's going to shoot fire. If I change to storms, it's going to shoot. Oh, I guess I didn't make a storm. This is another lightning scepter. This is a common one. That centerpiece is supposed to be floating up and down, so we've got to get that done. That's quite correct. That's supposed to be on the scepter. Anyways, let's get this going. So what I'm doing, and this is supposed to be done by a whole team. So I'm just looking down. I get the menu, and then I pick my throne. W is ice. D is lightning. A is storms. S is fire. Placing thrones across the map. And so I'm getting into a tree here. So actually, you know, I don't even need to worry about it. Oh, I do need to worry about it. There. So you see how I just looked over this way and I placed the throne over this way. So it's pretty cool. It's working. It does sometimes go into the mountains. I'm working to block that. Roll my mouse wheel. I got 92 left. So instead of trying to go over that, I'm going to go around. Now, of course, nobody's going to do this. They're going to go a little bit, run out of throne strikes. Your teammates are going to help you extend it. You're going to extend from them. So it's very team play. And of course, you're going to have enemies attacking you. Which we don't have any of that happening yet. Let's try to see what it's on. So again, this is just a prototype, very early stage. And this is kind of the noob way to do it. The more advanced way to do this would be to push enter. You can see my freedom is going. And then I can just place this anywhere I want. Uh-oh. Oh. I got 5 throne strikes left. So I'm going to push enter so I'm not flying anymore. I'm going to sit here and gather some throne strikes. I got 3. I got 4. And then all I'm going to do is jump off, look down. All right. So what is dominations? Dominations means that, you look at my thrones. Isn't that cool? Means that I have, of course, that would be me and my team. There's another part of this called Ultimate Throne Wars, and that's where the enemy builds across and we build across, and when we meet, Ultimate Throne Wars is declared. We don't have any of that working yet. Of course, that goes along with the whole thing of creating the multiplayer side of this. So I can attack that. Now, for some reason, it's going to be destroyed really fast. It's supposed to be about 20 times, 30 times longer than this. I guess I can put my camera back on. There we go. Okay, so I can push F and attack it. I can use my device. So that icon's gonna blow up. We gotta figure that out. These two top things. Oh, we got some mouse stuff happening there. They need to be. You need to be able to see through that. This is gonna be your scoreboard, and then it goes back to the beginning. Click your character. Now, isn't that gorgeous? Now we got the camera. I've been asking for this forever, and all of a sudden, suddenly it happened. So now I can click on the character I want again, push play, and we're starting another round. And that, in a nutshell, is the gameplay. Now, there's another part of this, which is if I go and banish the enemies, all of them, then I win. And if there's only one and I banish them, then I win. And that's how simple it is. If there is 16 of them, I've got to banish all 16, keep all 16 in there. So we've got this all working. We've got my score set back to 0. There will be XP eventually in the game, so that will continue to build. But the score needs to be back to 0. The thrones are set to neutral again. And gameplay has started again. So there we go. Now I do want to say that if you take those explosions and drag them into the game, whoa, that they are massive. So I don't know why ours are looking small. I even asked them to make it bigger twice. But when I drag it in, just like drag it right into this window, it's massive. Actually, let's even try that. Let's be silly here. Okay, so we've got some errors, lots of errors. Okay, so let me just see if I can pull this off here. So let's just see where it is. It's in this M5 volume. So these are some blueprints that we purchased. So if I go to particles, big explosions, and I just simply drag this in, take a look at this. It doesn't work. That's what I get for trying to do things live. What? Okay, this was totally working before. Alright, well, we're going to forget about that today then. That should be working. I've been having this bug where sometimes things are not working on my side. I don't know why. We're going to update the engine. I think it's just an engine issue. So we're waiting for one more update to happen. But yeah, when I drag those in, they're massive. They're as big as the castle. And now it's not working. So I've been asking the programmer to drag them in and take a look. And he's probably like, what are you talking about, man? So sorry, that was working before. Anyways, I think we're going to wrap that up for today. There's a whole bunch of training areas. We had a interesting issue. I'm going to just whip over there. Let's just have a look. So an interesting issue because I put training shrines in, and the programmer's like, so let me just count. So 6. So there's 10 shrines, active shrines in the game. He's like, I count 12. I'm like, how do you count 12? Well, he was counting these ones. And I'm like, well, no, that's, you don't come all the way out here for the gameplay. This is for training. So he made me some training shrines, so I put those in. And then this last week, all the shrines, all the rocks that cover the secrets, and these force fields all went missing. So we had a level designer, he pulled out, he put in all of these paths, and it made all of my smoothing. I spent about a month smoothing this map, all disappear. Now I'm just like, oh, I could swear that this was disappearing, and sure enough, it was. So, anyways, you can see I'm just here in the editor. So this is not even a build of the game. This is very early. This is still a prototype stage. Still have to do lots to make this right. But we're getting close to where we were with our very first prototype years ago. And so that's very exciting. This week, Henrique and I are going to take this concept here. Actually, I can just go right inside. And he's going to actually build the bottom, the roots of the tree, because you can see this is all stretched. Looks like heck. So he'll do that properly. And then we'll put a speed tree on top. So it's going to be kind of the same thing with the forest field. And we'll get that done. And then after that, we're going to work on level 2 and level 3 shrines. So what that means is, and I mean, this is seeming less important now because you see how long it took me to try to unlock this stuff. Although teams can do it really quickly, and I must admit that when I played Prince of Thunder, that's our first prototype, that the level designer would just run around and unlock my strongholds and empires and kingdoms like right away. So I wanted to make this a little bit more difficult. So, I mean, it's good to have all that testing in our pocket. We've done all that stuff. But anyways, if my team goes and hangs out in this shrine, it will change. It will become blue, and then it will build a level 1 and then a level 2 around it. And what that means is level 1 means that I can't just go and run into this and unlock it. It means I got to go up some stairs and go inside and unlock it. Level 2 means that it's actually locked physically. I've got to go inside and shoot the lock to break it open and then unlock the letter. So that's where we're going with this stuff. That might be a little bit overkill, but we won't know until we play, and then we can adjust. So, but all this stuff functioned in our first prototype, and that's where all of it's coming from. Although that throne placing is new, all the different scepters, that's new. Having that in your left hand, that's all new. So we did all that new stuff just so that it's in the game, and so that's what we did. So anyways, let me jump back to my thingamajig. Oh, if I can click on the right button. So make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for our video game tests. There's just getting to be so much done every week that I cannot show it all. So if I've missed something that you've done, I'm very sorry. Watch some of our older videos. It's just going to get more and more intense. And then once we got multiplayer happening, still no word on exactly a date for that, but then we can begin to test this, and then a lot of these streams are going to be just playing, watching people play, all that kind of thing. So there we go. Anyways, like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, all that good stuff. Ring the bell on YouTube, and that'll let you know when we're doing our next video. And this is the calm before the storm. It's nice to be able to not have to worry about investors and answering to anybody or publishers or anything. We're just making the game that we want to make and making it as thrilling and as incredible for gamers as possible. And I haven't even talked a lot about that stuff. What I will say is that I've got the investor presentation all recorded and edited. It's 28 minutes. I want to make it 20 minutes, so it's not too bad. I got to take 8 minutes out of it. So that's what I'm going to do this next week, is try to figure out what is not essential, because it all sounds good to me. I want to leave it all. But 20 minutes, they say, is the threshold for people paying attention to new information. You don't want to go over that. So that's what I'm going to do. Follow the experts and do it right. So it's VindaCator saying goodbye for now. I am... Actually get to listen to music.